So I wanted to talk about religious indoctrination and why I find it so reprehensible and disgustingly vile. Children must be given the ability, the choice, to make their own choice. And far too many religions encourage the parent to make the child be obedient rather than enable the child to become an adult. It's all about force and obedience and respect, and critical thinking gets shut down, questioning gets shut down. And religious indoctrination, I've seen it in churches, and I was thinking about this, and how the children are taught the Bible. They're taught only the nice bits. They're taught a far watered down version of those nice bits. They're encouraged to color drawings of Jesus and the Ark, and it's all so pretty and fluffy, and even in the adult services, it's pretty watered down for the most part. There are, you are not given in church the sort of actual presentation of the Bible, and that's deliberate, I would say. But it is vile for the kids, because the difference between a religious person and a non-religious person is that I've seen, and I don't know, maybe there is a study to say how many people do this, because I don't know that percentage, I don't know that amount. So you can be skeptical of that, because I don't know of that study, and you can chide me for not finding such a study. But at any rate, going on what I've seen, what I've experienced, what I know, which isn't much. I mean, it's an example of a sample size of 1, so it's not very much. But nonetheless, is that the religious parent will teach their kid in that religion. They will bring them up in the church. They will have that child attend Sunday school or things of this nature. And it will just be kind of expected that that person will become a part of their religion. It might not be forced, implicitly forced, but it will be kind of just a given that, yeah, of course you're gonna, yes, this is true. Everybody's saying it's true every week. So why would you think it's not true? Whereas a non-religious parents, I've seen time and again where they raise their children questioning everything. They say, look, here's all the access to every holy book that I could get a hold of. I will read to you them. You can read from them. You can ask questions about them. If I don't know the answer, I'll look for the answer, and I want you to decide on your own what you want to believe in or not believe in, and why. And no matter what choice you make, I will support it, and more importantly, I will love you no matter what. I will love you no matter what religion you happen to pick, or non-religion, and it is your choice, and I want to enable you to make that choice. And that's the difference that I've seen time and again between religious indoctrination versus non-religious people. Their whole approach to parenting is flipped on its head. It's not authoritarian based, where do as I say, not as I do. It's not that sort of system. It's a very much an embrace of, here's why that's incorrect, or here's the consequences that will come if you do that. And I'm telling you, I'm advising you not to do that. But if you do go, I'm not going to stop you from doing it, because I'm not going to prevent you from having that experience. The only time that I think, of course, that would be a necessary intervention would be to save life, for example. Okay, obviously there's exceptions. Obviously, it should go without saying, but in religious indoctrination, people seem perfectly fine with it, perfectly happy, perfectly okay with, well, but it's my kid. I get to teach them how I want. It's your property, you mean? I mean, really, because that's how children are treated in a way. It's like it's your property. You get to do with it what you want. No, you don't get to teach your child anything, because there's a consequence for that. When that person goes into society, there's going to be a consequence for what they were told was true. And maybe you think, well, they'll never go into society, which is itself a fundamental destruction of the independent agent that is that human being. Whether they have a hold of that agency or not is somewhat of a side note, because they will one day have an agency that's their own, and perhaps they've been brainwashed so much that they don't have that anymore, and that's because of religious indoctrination. And religion doesn't have to just be God oriented or church oriented. It can be anything where you're indoctrinating your child to believe X, Y, or Z. And I've seen people use their kids to be billboards for certain ideologies, certain messages. And you don't know whether the kid wanted to wear that shirt or not, or whether they were just given that shirt to wear. I don't know that, and I don't know if they were indoctrinated to believe that was true, or they chose to believe that's true. So it's really tough to know. And so from an outsider looking in, you don't want to assume, but it's hard not to assume. And I've gone back and forth with that. I've flipped back and forth between, well, maybe the kid wanted to wear the shirt, or, well, maybe they were forced to wear the shirt, and I don't know. But it is, I think, wrong to have kids be used as miniature meme generators to do our political or religious battles. I think that there's just fundamentally something wrong about that. We must enable the youth to think for themselves. That's what makes them into an adult. That's the proper role of a parent, is to encourage and help the child become a free, independent agent that will be able to make their own choices. And you say, here's the consequences, good and bad, and you're on your own. And if you want to do things and they're going to wind up bad, then you're going to experience that. And that's the way it is. That's the reality of it. And so I find that the religious tend to think that there's nothing wrong with teaching the child what they want the child to believe, whereas a non-religious person finds that reprehensible. So I think there is a clear difference and distinction, but it's just an opinion of mine. It's just a viewpoint of mine, one little dot on the statistical chart, and perhaps others will chime in with their dots as well, and maybe somebody will have a poll or study that has been conducted that they can tell me about, that shows, what percentage of non-theists raise their kids this way versus theists or what have you. But this was on my mind, and I wanted to put it out there and see what people would say to it. So that's all I've got. Until next time.